Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ambient Guitar Explorations YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to be explaining my complete setup for recording my ambient guitar tracks. So to begin, I will start with the guitars. The primary guitar I use is this green PRS Custom 24, beautiful guitar. Sometimes I use the Gibson SG. And I also have a couple other guitars that I don't use for the purposes of the ambient guitar tracks that I post under my project name, Ambient Guitar Explorations. So now on to the pedal board. As you can see, I have a Mogami guitar cable running to the first pedal. Is a battery-powered Analog Man Sunface TIUK. That's a germanium fuzz face pedal. I got this about a decade back for a little over $100. This pedal is now worth at least several $100s. I've seen them selling on or listed for as much as $500 on reverb.com. Though I don't know if people are really paying that much, but maybe they are. Now that is battery powered. It doesn't have an input for power. And I use the Danelectro vintage style batteries for that because they work better than an alkaline battery. Now I should, before we even get to the pedals that are powered by the power brick, should show my power brick down here. It is the Walrus Audio Power 15. That is the newish addition to my setup. I got it the other day. I actually got it on the Walrus website B stock. It's normally $300 power brick, but I got it for $186 total because it was listed as B stock, plus they added an extra 15% off all their B stock, plus I signed up to their mailing list and got an extra 15% off of that. So I got a great discount on that pedal. So let's begin the signal train on the pedal board. The first thing you'll see after the fuzz face, it goes into my Polytune tuner. The reason the tuner is not before the fuzz face is because the fuzz face doesn't like anything before it, especially not a buffer, which is what's in this tuner. So what happens is the fuzz face, actually, I should have said, goes into this Layla Mono Mini volume pedal. And then that has a direct out that goes into the tuner. And then also the regular out goes into this, the Walrus Kangra fuzz, which is a fuzz, kind of like a tone bender style fuzz. And it also has a filter. Now I use the filter to get those kind of like envelope sounds, like Jerry Garcia envelope sounds, but sometimes I will put the filter on if I'm getting too much noise with the gain, because the filter on this acts as like a noise reducer, and all of a sudden I will get no noise really, and it sounds really good even with a bunch of my gain pedals on. So let's go on to the gain staging. The first thing it goes into is this, my favorite drive pedal, the Earthquaker Devices Westwood. As you can see, I have it set fairly low drive, low treble, pretty heavy on the bass. That gets like a nice warm, thick sound with the drive. Then I have the special cranker. I use this kind of just as like a general crunchy drive. I have it set with the germanium setting. It's also a silicon drive. I go back and forth whether or not I like the germanium or the silicon. The silicon's a little like crisper. Germanium's kind of like warmer. So I go back and forth with that. This is a great pedal, a great EQ pedal called the Tone Job, Earthquaker Devices. You can do a lot with this pedal. If I absolutely had to only have one of these three pedals, it'd be hard to get rid of the Westwood, but the Tone Job just does so much despite just seeming like a regular EQ pedal. I can bump the mids up, get nice crunchy mids, or as I have it set now, it gets this like nice, crispy, full sound with the bass boosted a little and the treble boosted. Just overall, it's a great pedal. That goes into my tremolo pedal, which is the Walrus Monument. So far, you can tell I'm a big fan of both Walrus and Earthquaker devices. Just a standard harmonic and standard tremolo, a couple extra features. I don't use tremolo that often, but it's nice to click on once in a while. This is the Dr. Scientist Cosmochorus pedal. Great chorus pedal. I'm not a huge fan of chorus, but once in a while, I like to click this on and get that kind of like Nirvana, Come As You Are sort of like sound. But it also does a lot of like really weird stuff. So sometimes when I'm just making some noise, I'll play with the switches and the buttons and get something really weird. So that goes down to this pedal, the Dan Electro Backtalk Reverse Delay. When I was a teenager or early 20s, I forget exactly when, I had the original version of this pedal. This is the reissue. The original version goes for a lot of money and people really like it. I got this just for nostalgia reasons, and I use it once in a while to do some weird stuff, but you know, it's a reverse delay. It's not something you're going to always have on, but it's nice to have on the board just to kind of do something weird once in a while. This is my delay pedal, my regular delay pedal, the JHS Lucky Cat. Nice, just standard delay pedal with some extra features. It's got this switch for like a chorusy sound on the delay repeats. There's actually a button on this on the side that you can switch between analog and digital delay. And I go back and forth. Right now, I think I have it on. I think I have it on digital. It's hard to read back there, as you can see. Maybe you can see it better than I can with my eyes. What does that say that it's on? I don't know, but whatever. Let's go back to the board. This is my amp. This is the Universal Audio Enigmatic, modeled after a Dumble or Dumble amps. You know, I needed an amp modeler for my board. I was sick of using the onboard amp modelers on my DAW. So I just decided that this came out when I was thinking about buying one, and then a few days later this came out. I said, hey, why not? I've never played through a Dumble, probably never will play through a Dumble. Even if I was rich, I don't know if I'd want a Dumble because I'd be constantly worried that it's not working properly. I'd be paranoid about that it's not working right. So I don't think I would even get one if I could. But I like having this. It has some great. I use it mostly for a pedal platform. Once in a while, I will click on the gain and get the drive sound out of the Enigmatic, but mostly I have it as like a fairly low gain pedal platform amp. That goes into the Polymoon. The Meris Polymoon is like a crazy delay with tons of features, menus and sub-menus and alt menus. You can do all kinds of weird stuff with. It also has a phaser built in and the dynamics. It's like a flanger sort of thing. So this does a lot. This is a weird pedal, and I use it all the time. Probably don't use it more than like 25% of what it could possibly do, just because I kind of like, I'm not a tweaking the buttons on the pedals type of guy. I do that a little, but for the most part, I find sounds I like and then I use them. And then that is controlled by this. That's the preset switch. 4 presets, so I have 4 different sounds. The first one I use is sort of like a somewhat standard delay, then I start getting a little weirder. If you do the dimension thing on this, it almost like turns it into like more of like a reverb, like a weird reverberation sort of pedal. So this is a very versatile pedal, and it's probably my main thing that gets the weird ambient atmospherics in my sound. But then that goes into the Cloudburst, the Strymon Cloudburst reverb. This is a cool reverb pedal. You can use it as just a basic reverb, or you can do this little switch that turns it into like an orchestral sort of like spaced out sound, and I really like that. That I have running into this, which is just a Saturn Works switch on off. The green button here is for the right channel. And the The red button is for the lefts, because I should have mentioned, once it comes out of my UA Enigmatic and goes into the Polymoon, it's mono, but then out of the Polymoon, it turns into a stereo rig, and then it runs through the Cloudburst as stereo. And this enables me to just turn off the whole signal so that it's not all going into this, which is where I've already recorded my my tracks. And this is a 4-channel looper, the Boomerang phrase sampler looper. This does a lot of different things. I use it just as a 4-channel looper. What I like about this is it's kind of like having at your feet and controllable on your feet. When I first started recording guitar back a long time ago when I was a kid, I had a Tascam 4-track. This is almost like having a Tascam 4-track that you can control on the fly with your feet. And I like that feeling of it. Like at my feet, I can control my Tascam 4-track and just kind of, do different things. And it makes it so that I can layer different sounds. And most of what I record for the ambient guitar explorations, to this point at least, has been just all stuff that I'll record it, I'll lay down everything onto this, and then once I figure out exactly how it's going to be lined up, I then press record on my DAW, which I use GarageBand right now. I press record and I control when each track starts and stops on this. Now this goes into the Walrus Canvas stereo DI line isolator. I use it as a line isolator because once everything comes out of the UA Enigmatic, it's line level signals. And so it takes the standard instrument level stuff from the guitar, the UA Enigmatic turns it into a line level, which means that to get the best possible sound, I need a line isolator. It also allows it to come out as XLR instead of the standard instrument cables. So I have these 2 Roland XLR cables running up here, up my desk, behind my desk, into this, the Audient ID24 interface. This is an amazing interface. The preamps, the left and right preamps on this are so clean and get such a good sound, such a pristine replication of exactly what I want to be coming from my pedal board. And then that, of course, goes into my DAW, my GarageBand that I use on here. Eventually, I'm probably going to spend the $200 and get Logic. I used Logic back in the day, but for the most part, I'm figuring everything out before it even gets into the DAW. And then I use the DAW. I use a little bit of compression and a little bit of EQ on GarageBand. So it's almost like I don't really even need Logic that much. But, it would be cool to have the better DAW. It has some extra features. And for the other stuff that I record for my solo project, Rob Cotton, I record things under the name of. I do a little bit more probably with the DAW, but I'm not really that interested in recording those songs as much as I've been interested in the ambient guitar stuff. Should say that the headphones that I currently am using are these DT770 Pro. These are just really, really good headphones. Really sound great. No problems at all using those. I was using different headphones before that, and then something happened where it was more volume on the one side. Well, I opened them up. I bought these because I thought there was a problem, but I opened them up, and it's just that when they fell, it moved the speaker around a little bit. That's why they sounded bad. So those work fine, but I'm still glad that I sprung the money for these because they sound a lot better. Plus, this kind of fuzzy thing is a lot more comfortable on my ears than the faux leather that was on the other ones. Now that I have going into these studio monitors, I don't really use them that often. Should also mention I use to get all the power, this Furman power conditioner. That cleans up the power a little bit. Whatever. It was just another thing I wanted to buy. As you can see, I have a little bit of sound, whatever you call those things, sound conditioning on the walls, just to kind of do it so it's not bouncing nearly as much. So there you have it. That's the complete setup that I'm using now at the beginning of 2025. I'm sure at some point something will be added or subtracted from this, but until then, this is what I'm doing.